they don't like me, I'ma live my life anyway. I ain't fucking with her if she ain't watching anime. You know the finest women in the world, you know they cosplay. Pocket full of money, yeah, yeah, man, I came to play, yeah, yeah. Drop top, yeah, yeah, drop top, yeah, yeah. All summer, yeah, yeah, I won't stop, yeah, yeah. Beat going crazy, it's a whole box.
Characters you may or may not know about. This is Dr. Fate, one of many. But we're going to start with the only one that truly matters, Kent Nelson. All right, so to start off, Kent Nelson is the son of Sven Nelson. Both of them were archaeologists, and in the 1920s, they went on an expedition through Mesopotamia, and they ended up finding an underground pyramid. Inside the pyramid, they found Nabu, an ancient immortal from the planet Cilia, who had been held in suspended animation for thousands of years. Kent ended up releasing Nabu, but the action triggered a poisonous gas which ended up killing his father, and it was later revealed that Nabu did this in order to gain a new host. Nabu decided to train the young boy and gave him incredible powers through total molecular control and taking away his grief. He then becomes part of the Lords of Order, fighting against the Lords of Chaos. After finishing his training, Nabu gave him an amulet, a cloak, and a helmet in order to become Dr. Fate, a champion of good. Kent would go on adventures as Dr. Fate and have Nabu as his spirit guide. However, he would always awaken with absolutely no memory of what happened. Kent would then meet a beautiful college student named Enza Kramer, who he met in Alexandria, and she would become his lifelong romantic partner as well as his confidant. And his first battle was against the evil sorcerer Wotan, and he struck at Dr. Fate through Enza, but he ended up locking Wotan away. He's also defeated Magna the Mighty, two species of evil spacemen, the Norns, as well as recovering and destroying the Lost Book of Thoth. Kent has also gone up against Karkle, Wotan again, Clock, Red Sage, and Mr. Who. However, at some point, Kent became dissatisfied with just being Dr. Fate all the time, so he decided to become a real medical doctor, and he got engaged to Enza. Also, during his time as Dr. Fate, he teamed up with the Spectre, who is the Wrath of God, if you guys don't know that. Together, they destroyed a military gateway to the netherworld of demons, and him and Dr. Fate and other mystery men stopped an assassination attempt on FDR, and at FDR's request, they formed the Justice Society of America. During this time with the JSA, he noticed that the helmet started getting really possessive of him, so he created the half helmet. And this limited his powers severely, but it still left him with flight, invulnerability, and super strength. However, he did decide to don the helmet one last time so that he could find the Spectre. When he did find the Spectre, he found that he was being controlled by Kulak, and there was just this titanic, huge battle between the two of them, and Dr. Fate lost, and the helmet was lost somewhere in the Netherverse. So during the 1950s, Kent retired the Dr. Fate persona because, of course, the helmet was lost, and he would become a physician. It wasn't until 1955 that the helmet somehow got into his possession through unexplained events, and he became Dr. Fate one more time, or again. At this time, he also ended up fighting the mad Egyptian priest Kalis, who had once used the amulet of Anubis. He rejoined the JSA in 1963, while his friends aged. Him and his wife basically stayed the same age. So after an encounter of both Flashes from Earth 1 and Earth 2, Dr. Fate went up against a Lord of Chaos, and he ended up using Enza against him to lower his resistance and his power. Although Fate was almost beaten by this Lord of Chaos, his drive to save Enza helped him defeat the Lord of Chaos. Sometime later, he was sent to a strange dimension where he was face-to-face with Vandemon. He lost to Vandemon and returned back to find out that Enza had left him. He realized that this was the plan all along because Vandemon had teamed up with a Lord of Order named Imar to break Dr. Fate. However, due to Enza coming back and their consciousnesses combining inside the helmet, they were able to defeat both the Lords of Chaos and Order. The Kents started working to mend their relationship, and Dr. Fate became a founding member of the New Justice League. With the Justice League, they defeated Darkseid, and then his very last adventure / battle was against the Gray Man, and he would retire and go into space and meditate. So during the 1980s, the Kali Yuga had occurred, which was basically a battle of the final age of man. And it was between Order and Chaos, which were at a breaking point. Order pulled out of the battle and waited for Chaos to engulf itself and create the new Golden Age. This caused them to age rapidly, and because of this, Enza ended up committing suicide. This broke Kent all the way down, and he was on the verge of suicide. However, Nabu would not allow him to die without finding a host. So reluctantly, he found Eric Strauss, and Nabu told him that the power of Dr. Fate comes from man and woman. And basically, he was saying that the power of Dr. Fate cannot exist in its entirety without the combined forces of a man and woman in a mystical bond. And Kent was like, hey, he has a human bond named Linda Strauss. So Nabu agreed that Eric and Linda could take on the mantle of Dr. Fate, and Kent asked to die, and Nabu allowed him to pass away. Now, in a completely different storyline, they do die, but in a completely different way, and that is during the 0 Hour crisis. Now, during 0 Hour, Enza and Kent merge together as Dr. Fate, and Extant uses his time-based powers to age the entire JSA by several decades, and the artifacts of Dr. Fate are sent back to Egypt. Now, realizing that their time is short, they hunt down Jared Stevens, who has recovered the amulet, helmet, and cloak. But before they're able to merge together to create Dr. Fate again, they are killed when the remaining life force is drained by demons who are working for the villain kingdom. Their souls depart to the afterlife, leaving Jared to become the new Fate. And during Blackest Night, Dr. Fate is resurrected as a Black Lantern Corps member. During DC Rebirth, Kent becomes Dr. Fate again to meet his grandnephew, Khalid Nasur. And with both of the helmets of Nabu, they become a entire whole Dr. Fate and fight together for a short period of time. Kent later gets trapped in the Tower of Fate, and Nabu uses his body to convince Tim Cord that Blue Beetle Scarab is magic, not science. During the Dark Knight's Metal event, he is helping the Justice League try to defeat the Dark Knights. He forms a search team with Wonder Woman and Hawkgirl to find the Nth Metal, and they go to the Rock of Eternity, and he is supposedly killed by Black Adam. During the Doomsday Clock event, he is seen on a flash drive, which is a newsreel of the JSA, and then he appears with the JSA when Doc Manhattan undoes what he did to make the JSA and Legion of Superheroes disappear. Sometime prior to the start of Justice League Dark, Nabu has taken control of the Helmet of Fate and is taking on Kent Nelson's appearance as Dr. Fate. He's so creepy. And during the Dark Knight's Death Metal storyline, Dr. Fate is shown guarding the Valhalla Cemetery with Flash, Wildcat, and Green Lantern. During Flashpoint, after having a vision of Dick Grayson's death and telling Boston Brand, Kent Nelson is killed by Amazons who are looking to steal the helmet. Kent Nelson is also who is going to be appearing in the Black Adam movie alongside The Rock as Black Adam.